Hello, everyone. It's me, one of your favorite UP sports personalities, the big dog, Mitch Fosberg. Instead of our usual me and producer Noah going back and forth about sports for 30 to 45 minutes, today it's a sit down with a UP sports figure. And today I am excited for this talk. This was a lot of fun to do. Today we're talking with Keith Whitman, coach of the United States Natural Luge team. We talk about his journey through luge, what he got to coaching, his journey through life growing up in lawn snow sledding and that's going to happen. Also, what the heck is luge? Because I know most sports fans don't know about luge. So let's get to it right now. Okay, folks, so if you know us with us at the Daily Press, we put any sort of sport in our sports section coverage. We put garden tractor pulling, we put professional wrestling, but never in my craziest life would we be talking about luge. But today, we are talking about luge. Joining us now is the UP's own Keith Whitman. He's the coach of the United States Luge team. Keith, welcome to the program. How are we doing on this wonderful Monday?
Great, Mitch. Great to be with you and share with the public a little bit of what people don't know about our sport.
Absolutely. So, talk to me first. What exactly is luge?
Well, luge is, boy, that's a good question, Mitch. Luge is traveling down a mountain in the Alps or in the Upper Peninsula, in this case where our national track is at, traveling down the mountain at between 60 and 90 miles an hour on a sled that's 2 inches off the ice, and flexing your body and making 90-degree turns at 60, 50 miles an hour. And hopefully, as one newspaper reporter said, going from the top to the bottom very fast.
It doesn't sound like a sport for the faint of heart, is it?
Well, I've heard that said before, and I don't know if it's for the faint of heart. I always tell people, you never take a Lamborghini and drive it for the first time at 190 miles an hour. Okay? And you don't take a luge sled and go from the top of the Alps at 90 miles an hour. We start you at the bottom. Even if you're faint of heart, we start you at the bottom. And I can remember young men and women, boys and girls, thinking, well, no, you're starting at the bottom and you're going to work your way to the top. So I don't know if it's not for the faint of heart. I think it's for anybody who wants to aspire to be good, represent our country.
Totally fair. So, how did you get involved in luge in the first place? Because I feel like a kid from Lawrence, the UP, I feel like more of a hockey little area, not much of a luge area. At least to me. How'd you get involved with luge in the first place?
Well, I was kind of interesting. I'm a runner. I held the state record in the 2 mile, and I'm a runner, cross country runner, triathlons. I did that in earlier days, and I was running through the woods once, and there was this guy. I can't remember his name now. He was building something, and I said, "What are you building?" He said, "I'm building a luge track." I said, "What the heck is that?" And he said, "Well, it's this." I'd never heard of it. He said, "Why don't you come out and try it?" And lo and behold, I came out that winter, started like anybody else would, although I was quite old at the time, started at the bottom of the hill and worked my way up, and then made the C team, B team, A team, and then the national team, and then became national champ and captain of the team.
Nice. So how'd you transition into coaching?
I coached. I made the team in, I think it was 87, Mitch. I made the team, but my heart wasn't there, and I've always followed the motto that you give 110% to what you're doing, mm-hmm. and you do the max you can. And then when your heart is no longer there, you step out. And I think it was 87. I knew I did. I'd made it in 86, 87, 88. So in 88, my heart wasn't there. It was time to get out. And I gave a letter. It was just appropriate in those days, and even today. If you're going to step off, you don't want to be there anymore. Then you hand a letter to the program director, and it will tell you, because in our sport, if you step off, then within so many, within an hour or 2 hours, the fourth person then would move up to third, or the second would move to first. So therefore, so that athlete has a chance. The next man or woman behind you knows they've made it, and it's announced there. You made the team, but now you're stepping off, and that's what I did. I handed the letter to Ron Rossi and said, I didn't want sour grapes.
Yeah.
I was not the sour grapes. Oh, you didn't? No, I knew what I was going to do and kept it to myself. And then when before I said, open the letter when the race is over with, and it'll tell you what I'm going to do. And so I made the team. I was third. I was no longer national champ. I was third, but my heart wasn't there, and so I stepped off. And then shortly after I stepped off, within a few hours, I was named coach. So it was kind of a.
Gotcha. So
I coached then in 88, 89, and then I went to Arizona. And of course there's no luge tracks there. And then in 90 or 2017, I think it was, unfortunately they fired the coach, and it was around 6 o'clock in the evening. And I got a call from Lake Placid, New York, saying, would you take the team to Europe in 2 weeks?
Oof. No preparation whatsoever. Jeez.
And it was kind of interesting, Mitch, the story in that itself, because I said, well, let me think about it. And I got to talk to the boss. And I hung up the phone and talked to my wife, and she said, go for it. And I called my 3 sons. This, I think, was kind of funny. I called my 3 sons. I have 4 sons who passed away, but called my sons, and my first son, he was going, yeah. I said, talk, damn it. He said, way to go, Dad. My second son said, I'm proud of you, Dad. Way to go, you deserve it. My third son, if you only knew my third son, Michael, says, Dad, can I have all your uniforms?
I love it.
2 weeks later, I was on a plane heading to Europe. I could tell you more stories, but I'll tell you a few of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one is the athletes didn't know me, and I didn't know them. I'd been detached from the sport. Although my son said, "Well, boy, they're pulling the old war horse, the old horse out of the barn, aren't they?" My son is kind of a unique way of telling me things, and so I don't know how to look at it like that. But I never met the athletes. I didn't know them. They didn't know me, and I went up to Marquette, and I said it this way. I said, you don't know me, and I don't know you, but I'm your coach, and I'm a retired sheriff's officer, and you need to know it's black and white. There is no gray, and if you don't like it, don't get on the plane. And that's how I've operated for 8 years now, is that they know you never want to get a call from Mr. Whitman. That's a no-no. I always tell them this, and it's very important for the citizens of the Upper Peninsula of Escanaba, is our athletes are the best you'll ever find in the world. I'm extremely proud of every one of them. They know what's expected, and they adhere to it. They know you will never, and it's important, I think, in sports now. We can jump for 1 second to, in sports that have so much of other kneeling. I see the other day someone took the knee. Yeah. I've told my athletes, if you ever think of disrespecting America, go to the airport, because there will be a ticket for you on the first plane home. You will never do that. And I can tell you, Mitch, if you watch my athletes, you'd be very proud of them. And the Upper Peninsula, the state of Michigan, the United States would be very proud of them.
Gotcha. Well, you keep mentioning these athletes. What's the group you have coming up here off to Europe this year?
Well, right now, the 6 that were just selected, the one, Torrey Cookman, is co-captain of the team. He's been doing it 8 years now. He was the first athlete, actually. He was one of the original athletes that, when I came on board. He's at Western Michigan University now. He's 9th in the world. 9th in the world, so I'm very proud of him. Fantastic young man. I couldn't say enough about him. He's my right-hand man. He's the one who takes care of things when I have an issue. He addresses them knowing he's speaking for me. His sister, Katie Cookman, by chance, first boy and man and woman to race doubles team race kind of unique.
Yeah.
They're both from Marquette. Katie is, I think she's 18 or 17. She's 7th in the world.
All right.
Yes, very proud of her. Very fine young woman. Beautiful woman, very fine young woman. Just a super athlete from Marquette. Then we have Mason. He's from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Okay. I think he's 17. He's a sophomore at Oshkosh High School. Very good. He's learning. He's second year now.
Wait, hold on a second. I gotta cut you off. The kid's still in high school doing this?
We have the youngest is 14 years old.
You got kids at 14 doing this?
Yes.
Good grief.
14. Yes. He was actually, Thomas is from Marquette as well. He was 13 when we went to Europe. Tori was 13 when he went to Europe the first year. Thomas is 14 now, but he was to Europe last year. Now, he was the newest member of the team last year, and he's goes to Marquette High School. Katie goes to Marquette High School. Then comes Lenny Pizziola. He is from Ishburne, and he is a sophomore at Northern Michigan University. Kind of unique individual.
Okay. How so?
Very, very competitive.
Okay.
I can't tell you certain stories about him, but he's very competitive, and he's one you got to kind of rein back.
Yeah.
Then comes Elise. Elise goes to Minnesota, sophomore, University of Minnesota. I think 18 years of age. So we range from 14 all the way to 21, the 6 that made the team, and they should do very well. I'm not worried about them. They know what's expected, and you never want a phone call from Mr. Whitman. That's a no-no.
Yeah, I gotcha. Cool. Well, so talk to me about where exactly in Europe do you guys compete?
This year, I didn't bring it. This year we're going to be. We always first go to Winterleiten, Austria. We stay in Jutenberg, but we go to Winterleiten. We land in Munich. They'll be landing. Lenny's actually leaving Friday. He'll be going to Munich, and then they pick him up, and they'll go from there. And the rest of the team will fly out on the 14th, or most of them, and they will fly into Munich as well, go on to Winterleiten. The first World Cups are in Winterleiten, and then they're going to go to, I believe it's Los, Italy.
Okay.
And then from Los, they're going to go on to Lausanne. And then from there, they go to Umhausen, Germany. And then they go to Passanal. They go to Passanal, Italy.
Okay.
Persire, Italy. They go to Persire, Italy. Then they go back to Winterleiten. But then in between times, they'll be going to Switzerland and to, they don't go to Russia anymore, needless to say, and we don't go to Ukraine anymore at this point in time.
That's fair. That's fair.
As you can understand why.
Yeah.
They may go to Romania. They'll probably go off to Romania for a bit. But yeah, they'll basically stay in Italy, Austria, and Germany this time.
Okay, gotcha. So how much time normally on average a year do you spend out that way? Is it just maybe a week? Is it a month? How long do you spend out there?
Every year is different, Mitch. Good question. Every year is different. So this year, and it creates a little bit of a hassle for me and for all the schedulers and that. But Lenny's flying out, as I said, on Friday. So we normally, that's been an issue between the FIL. Now, FIL is the Federation des International des Luge. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's our international organization. And if you have a second, so you have the IOC, that's the International Olympic Committee.
Yep.
Okay, and underneath that you have 53 governing bodies. Okay, international governing bodies. Ours is the FIL, the Federation des International des Luge. The Ski Association would have International Ski Association underneath the IOC.
Yeah.
And then each country, in our case, we have the United States Olympic Committee, right? USOC. And underneath that, you have 53 governing bodies. And our governing body is the USLA, the United States Luge Association.
Gotcha.
So our venue follows underneath the United States Luge Association, the USLA, which is part of the FIL, which is part of the USOC and the IOC. So that is a quick synopsis of how we fall.
Gotcha.
So I have to work with the USOC and the FIL, okay, or the USLA and the FIL, as to how I put the team, where I put them, how they're scheduled, where they're going to fly, drug testing, passports, all that.
Yeah.
I work with both organizations to make sure the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. So in the past, they've wanted us to fly out in December, because the first World Cup is usually the first part of December, but I've always been against that.
Okay.
And I've pushed back as we will not fly out till December 24th, because I wanted the men and women to be with their families.
Yeah.
I think it's important, and so I've never gone with that. Then every year is different, but usually we flew out on December 24th and came back in March.
Okay.
Okay. Now this year is a little bit different in the sense that there's college students there. They're a little older. Lenny wants to fly out earlier, which I don't have a problem with. He'll be under the New Zealand coach, Jack. He'll be under the New Zealand coach there, so he'll be fine. And then the other team members, they wanted to fly out earlier too, some of them, so they'll fly out December 14th.
Okay.
So they'll fly back. Some are coming back. One's coming back the 7th. Several are coming back the 21st of February, and then others are coming back. The other one's coming back the 28th of February. And then we have our international race. Mm-hmm. We have our international race in Nagani, Michigan.
Okay.
On March 1st, we'll have our international race, which will have many of the countries will be coming over here.
Well, interesting.
Yeah,
all right.
Push that. We can push that because that's going to be interesting for the citizens of the United States, the citizens of the UP, to watch. Austria, Italy, Germany, all the top athletes in the world will be there.
Yeah, gotcha, folks. March 1st in Nagani, if you get a chance, get out there. So I got to ask this question, though, because I know when it comes to Olympics, every sport's different. Like, I think we look at men's hockey. Obviously, the U.S. is up there, but they got to deal with Canada, whatever committee Russia's left. Normally Finland, sneaky, Sweden's good. When it comes to luge, who are some of the top-notch competitors outside of the U.S.?
Well, this is the highest we've finished, so I don't consider us, I mean,
I got you.
You look at it, I always tell people this way, because the first question everybody asks, who's number one?
Yeah.
Where's America?
Yeah.
They're Americans, I understand that. However, you don't find an Italian hockey team.
Exactly.
You don't find a German hockey team. Well, if you look at luge, who's in the top? The question you asked is, it's Italy, it's Austria, Germany, Russia. When they were able to compete, Mitch, they were getting up on the podium.
That makes sense.
Rising very quickly on the podium, and they were occupying that podium in a lot of the races. Now, of course, that situation
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you brought two newspaper clippings, which I thought was really interesting. I want to discuss them both. But first one I'm going to discuss, the headline was Whitman chosen for honor. What the heck is that all about?
Well, in 1987, every 4 years, and people don't understand this. I find it so interesting that people they see the Olympic torch lit at the games. It comes into the stadium. It comes in, whether it be Calgary or
yeah, I got you.
Wherever it comes in. Well, the torch is lit 1 year prior to that.
Okay.
Yes, and it's lit in the ancient Olympic Stadium, and it's lit. Do you know how it's lit?
No, and my guess is not going to be correct. So, how's it lit? How's it lit, Keith?
Okay, it's lit by the cauldrons. The way it was lit in the ancient games is the cauldrons have the mirrors in it.
Okay.
And that's why the Olympic torch is called light of true light, light of pure light, because it's lit by the sun. It's lit by the heat of the sun from the cauldrons. That's how it's lit.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So in '87, the USOC, the United States Olympic Committee, selects an elite male and an elite female athlete. and it's not based totally on athletic ability.
Yeah.
I'll say that right up front. It's based on academics, athletics, and administration. And I was national champ for luge. I was secretary general of the United States Luge Association, and I have a bachelor's degree in Olympic history. So on that, I submitted my name, and you'll edit this part out. A quick joke is that I never, the president, Ingrid Lehrman, submitted my name. And, she said, "Do you want it?" I said, "Love it." And she kind of behind the scenes, because I'm a natural luger. I'm not an artificial luger.
Okay.
There's artificial luge, Kunststeinsbahn, and a turbine. And we are in a turbine. And so when she submitted me, I was a natural athlete. I was actually the first winter athlete ever chosen as an elite American male athlete.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was kind of neat. I was the first winter athlete, because it's always summer. Summer makeup out of the 53 venues.
Yeah.
Summer Olympic sports make up the majority of them. I think it's 36. So I'm 36 votes.
Yeah.
So who do you think is going to get picked? So she put my name in. She put my name in, and I was chairman of the Republican Party in Marquette County, and I went to my office, and there's this message from Bob Paul. He said, "I'm trying to reach Keith Whitman. There's going to be a news release coming out here in the next couple hours announcing you as the lead American male athlete, and I got to talk to you." So it was late at night, and I called him the next morning, Mitch, and I said, "Bob, Keith speak. Well, I'm gonna. You're just been selected." I said, "You got to be."
We can bleep that out. It's okay.
And he said, "What'd you say?" And I said, "I'm Uper." I said, "You got to be me."
Yeah.
He said, "That's just what I thought you said." He said, "Well, we just announced this out. Went around international press now that you've been selected." And I said, "Wow, I can't believe it." And so then I went to Indianapolis a week prior, and my master thesis was on the Berlin Games. And there was a story that it was amazing, is Don Lash and Glenn Cunningham. They won the silver and gold and 100 and something else in the 36 Berlin Games.
Okay.
And they were in Hitler's box when Jesse Owens won.
Wow.
And the controversy is, did Hitler acknowledge Jesse Owens?
Yeah.
And here I was, they were in Indianapolis, because we had to get in all passports and indoctrination. So the week prior to leaving for Greece, you're there, and they were there. And I said, "I can't believe it. I just wrote my master's thesis on you guys. Tell me, you were in Hitler's box. Did he acknowledge Jesse Owens?" Yes, he did. He acknowledged him. We were there. We witnessed it. And then Hitler waved and he was leaving.
Yeah.
But he did not snub Jesse Owens. And they said, "Can we have your autograph?" I said, "Can I have your autograph?" And so then a week later, I left for Greece, for Athens. A lot of pageantry. It's unbelievable, the ceremony. It's unbelievable to be there representing your country. And you go up on the Parthenon, the Parthenon in Greece. Security was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Was not nice. But you're with the presidents of the country, they're up on the Parthenon, they're playing all the emblems, all the national anthems, and then you go by bus to Ancient Olympia, and you spend 2 weeks there at Ancient Olympia at the IOA, the International Olympic Academy, and they indoctrinate you on Olympism, Olympiads, Olympics, and then you have to spend 5 years traveling the country speaking about it. On your time off, they pay for all the expenses, but you travel. So, yeah, I got to race in the Olympic Stadium there's 157 countries. We're all there together. Went and ate with the Russians out on the plains of Abraham. We went the Russian delegation and the American delegation. We went to a restaurant, which was a thatched roof chicken farm. They brought the chickens. So we picked out the ones they wanted to kill. And they killed, and Bob Paul and the Russian delegation. The Russian athletes were so nice. They were so nice, and we had dinner in this thatched restaurant out on the plains. Yeah. And then they light the Olympic torch, and you step forward, and it's so different. I mean, you hear so many things about America,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're standing there, there's nothing in the world. When you're standing there, you're representing not UP, not Lawrence, not Baraga, not UP, not Michigan.
Yeah.
You represent our country,
Yeah.
and it is really, that's something else. Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah, it was something else. So important, I did that. I go, you did. Yeah, I'm Keith Whitman from Lawrence, Michigan. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
you bring that up too because the second article you brought me to, from the old Bud Sargent from the Marquette Mining Journal.
You laughed at yours.
Yeah. So the headline is Whitman defying predictions.
Yeah, and I think the greatest thing I can give to kids now, Mitch, is that people say you can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, and that's what I teach young kids. I've been coaching for 53 years now. Is don't tell me you can't do it. That just irks me to no end. Is that I have my front teeth are dead,
Yeah.
and there's stitch marks in my knee because I couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time. And for a young man or woman to say you can't, I can't do it. No, you can. If you want to. If you dream a dream, you want to pay the price to make that dream come true. You have to pay a price. Not a lot of young men and women are willing to pay a price today. But if you're willing to pay that price, you can achieve it. And you can achieve it, and Baron de Coubertin, the founder of the Olympics, he said, athletics is not end all and do all. Mm-hmm. It's only a route because being a whole person, being a good person, and that's what I tell American athletes. You don't have to be a great athlete. That's not my goal. I want you to be a good person. And after you're a good person, then you can be a good athlete. But you're going to represent America as a good person. When they look at you, they say, you represent the finest. And so with coaching kids, and I graduated from high school, and I always share this, I'm not proud of it. I graduated from high school with a D- average. That's D David, not B boy.
Yeah.
And I graduated, was the first one in my class with a bachelor's. I returned to Lawrence High School in 1986 and gave the commencement address. So when you say you can't do something athletically or academically, don't say that to me. Because if you want it, you want to fight for it, you want to dedicate yourself, you can get it. And that's the most beautiful experience in the world, is to have a young person have their eyes open up and brighten up. Is I did that. Yes, you did. That's a fantastic experience.
I literally want to run through a wall now after hearing that little spiel. I really do. But 2 questions to wrap this up.
Sure.
1, where does the passion to help human beings come from? And 2, where does the passion for Olympic sports come from? Because you're the first person I've met that says they have a degree in Olympic history, which I find just so fascinating.
Now, I'm sorry, the first question.
So where does the passion come to help human beings come from?
From my mentor. My mentor, when the FIA teacher said you couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time,
Yeah.
Jim Matson from Lawrence, Michigan, was the coach and later became the principal. And he said, I believe in, every day he turned to me and he said, I believe in you, I think you're worth something, I care about you. Every day he confirmed that in me. And he never gave up on me. He stood by me. And I always asked him, how can I repay you? He said, give to kids what I've given to you. And I've done that for 50-some years now. And I remember going over to Europe to Italy, and every time I left for Europe, I stopped at his house and I gave him a team hat. And I gave him the pin that was struck for us they strike a pin for you to hand out to all the countries. They give thousands of these pins. I've got about 7 left for my kids. But I gave him one of the pins, and he always wore that pin. And I said, have I ever repaid you? And he said, how can you even ask that? And so that's where it comes from, is I give because he gave it to me. I never would have done any of this stuff, none of it, if he didn't say, I believe in you, I think you're worth something, and I care about you. And he told me that every day. Okay? And the second part is I went to Northern and was part of Northern's curriculum at the time to get degree, which is kind of a unique thing in Olympic history.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I was through the history department and Olympic history. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
I don't know if they even have it today anymore, but it's kind of interesting. Olympiads, Olympics, the three of them, and then of course going to the IOA, the International Olympic Academy, and being indoctrinated for the 2 weeks there was quite kind of interesting. A lot of the last thing I'll share with you is the founder of modern Olympics is who?
I have no clue.
Baron de Coubertin.
Okay.
His body is buried where?
I'm going to guess somewhere in Greece.
In France.
Oh.
His heart is buried where?
Okay.
In ancient Olympia.
Oh, wow.
His body, he said, my body belongs to France. My heart belongs to the Olympics. So his heart, actually the first ceremony we have when we arrive in ancient Olympia is at his monument where his heart is buried.
Oh, wow.
Kind of neat.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. My body belongs to France. My heart belongs to the Olympics. Yeah.
Gosh, so cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot to share.
Cool, awesome. Well, Keith, I really appreciate your time, man. This has been such a fun conversation. It really has. I'm being sincere. This has been fun.
Good.
Cool.
Hopefully you'll share it with the people and have them tell young people they can dream a dream.
Yeah.
Anybody can dream a dream. They got to be willing to pay the price, and a lot of young people aren't.
Gotcha. Well, Keith, thank you so much for your time, man.
Yeah.